Join us as we delve into the chilling case of Manling Williams, a devoted mother turned cold-blooded killer. Once hailed as a loving wife and mother, Manling's facade crumbled, revealing a shocking betrayal that shook her community to its core. From the serene suburbs of California to the brutal crime scene that shattered lives, this episode unravels the twisted tale of a woman driven to unimaginable depths of depravity. Manling Williams was once a picture-perfect mother living in the tranquil suburbs of Orange County, California. Married to Neil Williams, Manling appeared to have it all: a loving husband, a beautiful home, and a bright future ahead. But beneath the facade of domestic bliss lurked a darkness that would ultimately consume her. In August 2007, tragedy struck the Williams household in the most horrific way imaginable. The sheer brutality of the crime left investigators stunned, struggling to comprehend what could drive a mother to commit such atrocities against her own flesh and blood. But as details emerged, a disturbing portrait of Manling Williams began to take shape. Behind closed doors, Manling was leading a double life, one that strayed far from the idyllic image she presented to the outside world. She engaged in extramarital affairs, sought escape in a world of fantasy, and harbored dark desires that would ultimately culminate in an act of unfathomable violence. But what drove Manling to commit such heinous acts? Was it the pressures of motherhood, the strains of a failing marriage, or something far more sinister lurking within her psyche? In the quiet community of Rowland Heights, California, a shocking tragedy unfolded, leaving a family torn apart and a community in disbelief. This is the story of Manling Williams, a wife and mother accused of the unthinkable. Manling Williams was a 27-year-old mother living a seemingly ordinary life with her husband, Neil, and their two young boys, Ian and Devon. To those who knew them, they were the picture of a happy family. One neighbor said, "They were always out in the yard, playing and laughing. Neil adored those boys." Another said, "Manling seemed like a devoted mother. It's hard to believe she could be capable of something like this." But behind closed doors, a different reality was unfolding, a reality of marital discord and hidden turmoil. Friends and family paint a picture of a marriage in turmoil. Arguments, tension, and moments of unease were hidden from public view, leaving many unaware of the cracks beneath the surface. Despite outward appearances, the strain between Manling and Neil would ultimately culminate in a tragedy that shook the community to its core. On that fateful day, neighbors would bear witness to a scene of unimaginable horror. The lifeless bodies of Neil and his two young sons were found within the confines of their family home. Neil was discovered slain with over 90 sword wounds in their home on August 7, 2007. The two children, Devon, 7, and Ian, 3, were found suffocated with a pillow on that same tragic night. As the investigation unfolded, attention turned to Manling Williams, the woman who had reported the deaths of her family members. But as details emerged, suspicions grew, leading to her eventual arrest. With questions lingering and a community in shock, authorities worked tirelessly to piece together the events that led to this heartbreaking loss. In the 2007 Rowland Heights triple murder trial of Manling Williams, the intricacies of the human digestive system took center stage, sparking heated debate among legal experts. Williams openly confessed to the grisly murders of her husband, Neil, who was brutally attacked with a samurai sword in their home on August 7, 2007. Additionally, she admitted to smothering her young sons, Devon, 7, and Ian, 3, with a pillow on that same fateful night. Facing the possibility of the death penalty if found guilty of first-degree murders, Williams' defense team acknowledged her responsibility for the deaths, but contested the premeditation aspect of the slayings. A significant point of contention throughout the trial revolved around the time of death for the victims. The prosecution argued that Williams murdered her family before joining friends for dinner at TGIF restaurant. Expert witnesses presented conflicting opinions regarding the determination of the time of death using gastric emptying as a scientific method. The prosecution posited that the children died within 2 hours of consuming pineapple pizza, pointing to evidence from the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office and testimony from forensic scientist Lynn Denise Harold. Harold testified that the boys had minimal food in their stomachs and none in their small intestine at the time of death, indicating that digestion had not yet occurred. In contrast, the defense's expert, Dr. Gregory Reber, challenged these conclusions, asserting that the food found in the boys' stomachs showed signs of being in the advanced stages of digestion. He criticized the reliability of gastric emptying as a means of determining time of death, emphasizing the variability of factors influencing digestion. During the trial, evidence from the crime scene, including hair samples collected from Williams' shower, was scrutinized. The absence of blood in the hair samples contradicted earlier testimony, suggesting Williams had showered before the alleged murders. As the prosecution concluded its case with testimony from Detective Donald Walls, questions lingered regarding the timeline of events leading up to the killings. Despite claims by Williams in her confession video regarding purchases made at a gas station on the night of the murders, the defense raised doubts about the lack of further investigation into corroborating evidence, such as surveillance footage or receipts. The trial continued to unfold with conflicting testimonies and forensic evidence, leaving jurors to navigate the complexities of the case and ultimately determine Williams's fate. In conclusion, the tragic events surrounding the murders committed by Manling Tsang Williams have left an indelible mark on all those involved. Despite pleading not guilty, Williams was convicted of 3 counts of first-degree murder, along with additional charges, in a trial that captivated the nation. The initial jury's inability to reach a decision on her sentence led to a subsequent penalty phase, where she was ultimately sentenced to death in 2012. Now, confined to death row at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, California, Williams faces a future devoid of parole. Her actions shattered the lives of her family and shocked the community, leaving behind a legacy of pain and unanswered questions.